Mark Frost once joked that Twin Peaks began at a diner, and he wasn't exaggerating. In 1988 he sat with David Lynch at Dupar's in Los Angeles, and over 3 hours Lynch sketched a map on a napkin. A small town, a diner, a hotel, secrets hiding under its surface. Frost later called it the show's birth certificate. A year earlier Lynch had been haunted by recurring dreams of a girl's body wrapped in plastic beside a lake, an image he saw 15 times before telling Frost. The detail of the plastic came from a childhood memory of finding a dead animal wrapped in plastic back in Montana. When he discovered Snoqualmie Falls, he knew he had found the lake from his dream. Frost brought his experience from Hill Street Blues, where he'd learned to handle sprawling casts and intricate plots, while Lynch added his surreal visions. Together they made a show that felt at once realistic and haunted. Frost built the investigative heart of Agent Dale Cooper, while Lynch laced the story with symbols, red rooms, and talking logs. The backwards talking scenes came from an accident while editing Eraserhead in 1977, when Lynch heard dialogue played in reverse. Obsessed, he experimented with reversing recordings of himself until the strange, eerie cadence became unforgettable. For Twin Peaks he made actors learn their lines backwards. Michael J. Anderson, who played the man in the Red Room, trained for 3 weeks to master the technique. Scenes could take nearly 50 takes, but when they worked the results were mesmerizing. When pitching the show to ABC in 1988, Lynch and Frost kept things simple, describing it as a small-town murder mystery. They didn't mention surrealism, spirits, or dreamscapes. ABC approved the pilot with a $4 million budget. But Lynch smuggled in the strangeness once cameras rolled. By the time executives saw the pilot it was too late to stop. They felt tricked, but the show had already been made. Casting built the mythology. Lynch had worked with Kyle MacLachlan on Dune, and noticed his obsession with coffee. That became Agent Cooper's signature quirk. Cooper's delight in damn fine coffee wasn't acting. It was Kyle being himself. Cheryl Lee was hired to play Laura Palmer's corpse, but her intensity inspired Lynch to invent a new character, Laura's cousin Maddie, giving the story fresh layers. Catherine Coulson, Lynch's longtime friend, became the log lady. The log she carried came from Lynch's own property, and Coulson's bond with him gave her performance an unspoken depth. The reveal of Laura's killer was a closely guarded secret. In 1990, Lynch and Frost called Ray Wise into a dark room to tell him he would play Leland Palmer, consumed by guilt and possession. Wise threw himself into the role, sometimes staying in character off-camera, unnerving the crew. His anguished performance became one of television's most chilling moments. Miguel Ferrer as Albert, the sarcastic examiner, improvised much of his cutting dialogue, turning the character into a fan favorite with dark humor. When Twin Peaks premiered on April 8, 1990, it was a sensation. The pilot drew 34.6 million viewers, 1/3 of all households watching TV that night. It even pulled viewers from NBC's Cheers. In Los Angeles, it topped the ratings. ABC hadn't seen numbers like that in years. Symbols like Laura Palmer's homecoming queen photo became iconic, shifting through the Palmer house like a shrine, haunting every scene. Real-world locations like Tweed's Cafe, standing in as the Double R Diner, saw tourists flood in for cherry pie and coffee. Orders skyrocketed and fans kept coming for decades. Fashion shifted too. Oversized sweaters, plaid, and retro-tinged outfits became trends, with Twin Peaks' color palette inspiring designers long afterward. But success made ABC uneasy. In 1990, Thomas Murphy, CEO of Capital Cities, which owned ABC, told Frost he feared the show was like unleashing a digital Ebola, a dangerous infection spreading into culture. The network's executives didn't know how to categorize it. Soap opera, horror, satire, or surreal dream, and they panicked. Lynch and Frost had reinvented television, but that terrified those who were supposed to control it. The breaking point came in season 2, when Laura's abuse at the hands of her father was revealed. Advertisers panicked. Religious groups attacked the show with headlines like, "Incest for the Millions." Sponsors threatened to pull ads. Executives, already nervous, decided the mystery had to end. They pressured Lynch and Frost to reveal the killer. Secret memos later revealed how disturbed and afraid they were of the story's direction. Frost described it as the network holding a gun to their heads. Either reveal the answer or lose funding. Lynch never wanted to solve Laura's murder. For him, the question was sacred, the mystery itself the engine of the show. He believed answering it would kill the story. But ABC forced his hand. They made Lynch and Frost sign a contract promising to reveal the killer in season 2. At first the network demanded it happen in the very first episode. The creators stalled, stretching it to episode 7, Lonely Souls, where Leland Palmer is revealed as the killer, possessed by Bob. With that revelation, the show's heart was ripped out. The spine of Twin Peaks had been the mystery, and once it ended, the show collapsed. Later storylines drifted into absurd subplots, and the tone grew inconsistent. Lynch, furious at being forced, walked away after the reveal. For 14 episodes he was absent, leaving writer Harley Peyton to steer the series without his vision. Mark Frost was also busy with his film Storyville. The results were chaotic. Soap opera digressions, alien rumors, even Civil War reenactments. Viewers sensed immediately that the magic was gone. ABC compounded the damage by moving the show to Saturday nights, a time slot known as the youth graveyard. Ratings plummeted. Season 1 had averaged nearly 15 million viewers. Season 2 collapsed to barely 5 million. Nielsen researchers noticed something unprecedented. When Twin Peaks moved, its fans didn't switch to other shows. They stopped watching TV altogether in that slot. Thursday nights had been a ritual, and moving it felt like betrayal. Even so, Aaron Spelling offered to fund an entire third season out of his own pocket. International broadcasters begged for more episodes, knowing the global audience was there. But ABC refused. They weren't interested in profit or popularity. They wanted control. By now, Bob Iger, who would later run Disney, had become president of ABC Entertainment. He liked the pilot initially, but he thought Lynch's slow, dreamlike style dragged. He focused on results, not atmosphere, and the strange world of Twin Peaks didn't fit his vision. Fans fought back with passion. A group called Coop, citizens opposed to the offing of Peaks, sent ABC thousands of letters, donuts, logs, even creamed corn. They clogged voicemail lines and fax machines. They bought products advertised during the show to prove their value to sponsors. ABC ignored them. 6 episodes returned briefly, aired out of order in bad slots,